Looking for an easy chair to help relieve these medical problems? Low back pain? Poor venous blood circulation in the legs? Common everyday aches and pains. Ordinary easy chairs can't help. They're either too big, too small, too long, or too short. But classic model contour chairs support you just right because they're individually constructed to fit your body's linear measurements. Plus, Contour features this special pain-relieving orthopedic shape and comes with relaxing optional built-in heat and massage. And Contour is surprisingly affordable. Find out how inexpensively you can relax in a Contour chair. Call me, Art Linkletter, toll-free, and I'll mail you Contour's free color catalog. To get this free catalog by mail, call me toll-free right now.
Call 1-800-228-5111. That's 1-800-228-5111 toll-free. Call 1-800-228-5111.
Tonight's 8 o'clock movie, Columbo, starring Peter Falk and Lawrence Harvey, will continue in a moment.
If you've been holding off for the right time to buy furniture, the right time is now, but only at Salem Furniture's half-yearly sale. Huge savings on famous brand-name living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, and much, much more. Nobody beats Salem's price. It's all on sale, plus buy now and make no payments until June of '89. Salem Furniture's half-yearly sale at all stores. Salem Furniture, Bailey's Crossroads, Silver Spring, Rockville, Mount Airy, Waldorf, and Camp Springs.
Sure, you can buy a new Ford, but why? When you can get one at Crystal Ford that's just about brand new for just about half the price. We'll sell you a 1988 Taurus GL with a V6, air conditioning, power steering, brakes and windows, cruise control, and much more for $89.90. A brand new '89 Taurus GL with the same equipment would cost you more than $15,000. Be a smart car buyer. Come to Crystal Ford and save, save, save.
Your hair is like the golden soup. I love you, baby. Mwah, mwah.
The all-new Dating Game, weekday afternoons at 5 on WFTY 50.
Mrs. Sperry for a start.
Who says Dynamo works better than Tide?
I do. I'm such a creature of habit, I'd basically always use Tide until once I had to help Pete pump gas, and I had on my daughter's ski jacket, and it got filthy. I rubbed a little Dynamo into the greasy places out of the quarter cup for a full load, and it came out super. I couldn't believe the difference it made. Now I wash everything in Dynamo.
The little blue jug is Dynamo.
Recommended by women who used to use powders. If you could see bad breath, you'd see something like this.
Ready to celebrate our anniversary?
You're not ready, Larry.
Bad breath.
Bad.
Listerine Antiseptic has the power to change bad breath into clean breath. Listerine kills the germs that can cause bad breath. One taste and you know it's working. There's nothing like that Listerine clean breath feeling.
Now I'm ready.
Happy anniversary, Larry.
Listerine Antiseptic changes bad breath into clean breath.
Ever tasted real barbecue pork chops? Well, I fix them mighty tasty on my grill.
Surprise, Tex. We got two ways. Shake and bake barbecue style for pork turns your oven into a barbecue grill. Just shake, no basting. Makes its own tangy, tomatoey barbecue sauce.
Right tasty pork chops, Sue Ann. Moist and tender. It's got that real barbecue flavor.
Turn your oven into a barbecue grill with shake and bake coating mix, barbecue style for pork.
If you suffer pain or itch of hemorrhoidal tissues, use Preparation H for hours of comfort in many cases. When occasional pain, itch, and swelling of hemorrhoidal tissues occur, Preparation H gives prompt temporary relief in many cases. Then Preparation H goes beyond soothing, actually helps shrink swelling of hemorrhoidal tissues due to inflammation. For temporary relief of hemorrhoid symptoms, get doctor-tested Preparation H. Goes beyond soothing, helps shrink swelling of hemorrhoidal tissues.
Don't waste your time. She's like the wind to my dreams. She's like the night next to me. She lead me to moonlight, only to burn me with the sun. She's taken my heart, she doesn't know what she's done. I feel the breath in my face, somebody close to me. Can't look in her eyes, she's out of my lips. Just a fool to believe I have anything she needs. She's like the wind. I look in the mirror and all I see is a younger man with only a dream. Am I just fooling myself that she'll stop the pain? Living without her, I'd go insane. In my face, somebody close to me. You can't look in her eyes, she's out of my lips. Just a fool to believe I have anything she needs. She's like the wind. In my face, somebody close to me. Can't look in her eyes, she's out of my league. Just a fool to believe she's like the wind. Just a fool to believe she's just a fool to believe she's like the wind. Just a fool to believe she's like the wind. Just a fool. She's like the wind. She's like the wind, just a fool. She's like the wind, just a fool. She's like the wind, just a fool. She's like the wind, just a She's like the wind, just a fool. She's like the wind, just a
Vidco is proud to introduce RCA's most advanced video recorder, the VET-650. 6 hours of recording capability and 14-day 8-event programming puts this recorder in a class by itself. Add to this slow motion with variable speed control, still frame with frame-by-frame advance, forward and reverse scan, and full-function remote control, and you have the finest system available. Stop by Vidco soon and see the amazing VET-650. Vidco, the source for home entertainment.
Does your television automatically capture all these subtle shades of red on this fiery desert of color? ColorTrack 1981 can. With RCA's exclusive detail processor, ColorTrack separates detail from color, refines it, then locks the right color on track. Even colors only subtle shades apart. ColorTrack 1981.
You'll find ColorTrack at Vidco, the source for home entertainment, 7972 East 41st Street.
Television should be more than an electronic tranquilizer. At its best as an art form, television should move you. The art of television. Experience it at its best on the one television that is itself a work of art. The Emmy Award-winning Sony Trinitron. Sony, the one and only.
You'll find Sony at Vidco, 7972 East 41st Street. Okay, here's one for you. What is smaller than a bread box, weighs less than a dictionary, and fits easily into an attaché case? The Technicolor Portable Video Cassette Recorder from Vidco. Less than 7 pounds in weight, 3 inches thick, and designed to use 1/4-inch tape, this recorder is the ultimate in portable video convenience. Hook it up with your favorite video camera for use at home or in the office. See it at Vidco, the source for home entertainment, 7972 East 41st Street.
The Hungry Pelican restaurants are now serving breakfast, starting with homemade country biscuits. With your choice of country ham and farm fresh eggs, or pure pork sausage, or delicious homemade cream gravy, or large freshly baked cinnamon rolls. Or you can take it all with you from your favorite Hungry Pelican.
From Sony and Vidco come the absolute end in accessories for your video recorder, the AG200 and AG300 auto changers. These amazing devices actually load and unload 3 cassettes from your recorder, so you get 3 times the programming you normally get. Sit back and enjoy even the longest movies without leaving your easy chair. Come by Vidco and let the experts show you the Sony auto changers. Vidco, the source for home entertainment, 7972 East 41st Street.
We at Vidco are pleased to announce the formation of the Vidco Video Cassette Rental Club. In addition to being able to rent the finest in movie entertainment, club members enjoy a variety of benefits, including discounts on blank tape, advance notice of sales, and a monthly newsletter. As a special introductory offer, Vidco will let you rent 2 tapes for the price of 1. We're looking forward to serving you through the club, so won't you stop by and join today? Vidco, the source for home entertainment, 7972 East 41st Street.
Your recorders, nobody offers more performance features than this one. RCA Selectivision 650, maximum 6-hour recording time, an unsurpassed 14-day memory, and remote-controlled special effects like slow motion, picture search, and stop action. Nobody gives you more VCR than Selectivision 650.
See the amazing Selectivision 650 at Vidco, 7972 East 41st Street.
Tulsa Cable Television, a world of premier entertainment at your fingertips.
Vidco your source for RCA black and white TVs. From 5-inch AC-DC combos with AM/FM radios right on through the 19-inch models. Great for college students, ideal for breakfast nooks or RVs, or simply as a second family set. Stop by Vidco soon and check out the fine line of RCA black and white TVs, as well as other fine RCA products like video recorders and cameras. Vidco, the source for home entertainment.
When I wake up in the morning, I'm so hungry and I jump right out of bed. I tell Hilda I want breakfast, but what she does is just roll over and play dead. So I stumble to the breakfast table. There I find some old stale gummerlost. So all I have for breakfast is that lousy cheese and piece of burnt up toast. And if that's not miserable, then all I've got to say, Hilda don't make very good fish cakes, and her cooking's full of mistakes all the time. She can louse up any meal like chicken, steak, or breaded veal at supper time. Hilda don't make very good herring, and that's just what keeps me swearing all the time. And I mumble bad words too. And when my stomach's feeling bad, I look at her and get so mad I lose my mind. Sometimes I call her up and ask her what's cooking, good looking, and I know that what it is just won't be fit to eat. But she says better hurry home, 'cause this stuff that I'm cooking will be really neat. I just whipped up some herring peats, and for dessert some chocolate sauce over pickled pig's feet. Incredible. And if that's not ridiculous, I'd say it's ridiculous. Then all I've got to say, let's repeat that again. Hilda isn't very good looking, and she's even worse at cooking all the time. What she cooks up in a pot really ought to get her shot at dinner time. Hilda don't make very good meatballs, she don't make very good nothing anytime. And when my stomach's feeling bad, I look at her and get so mad I lose my mind. Get off your dime, drink lemon lime, both know for crime. I've been doing fine, she's in her prime, yours and mine.
December 24, 1913, Ellis Island. 1,000,000 immigrants had arrived in 1912. 1,200,000 more were to arrive this year, including a 17-year-old, Rodolfo Guglielmi di Valentino, who knew no one and couldn't speak one word of English. 13 years later, in this same city, Rodolfo Guglielmi would lie dead, but he would have the funeral of an emperor. What had happened during those 13 years? What was the magic that made up the miraculous legend of Rudolph Valentino? The orange groves of Hollywood were giving way to movie studios. Rudolph Valentino was 22, in Hollywood and broke. His friend Norman Kerry, now a movie actor, got him a job. He was immediately typed: gigolo, gangster, crook. But another company, famous players Lasky, thought the Valentino personality worth gambling on. And they offered him a role in a new picture. The Sheik. A new word entered the language. Millions of women visualized him entering their lives. Here was a new kind of lovemaking. It was a complete romantic revolution. Valentino became the biggest name in pictures. With George Fitzmaurice as director, Valentino planned a sequel to his first success, The Sheik. Many thought it ill-advised. The Sheik had been parodied so much that a film called Son of the Sheik could only be laughable. He played both roles, the father and the son. Son of the Sheik was a tremendous success. Valentino was in New York to attend the preview showings of Son of the Sheik. Lines of illness were already apparent on his face. Time had run out for the young man who 13 years before had stepped ashore at Ellis Island. All of Hollywood attended the funeral. Their thoughts could be summed up by a newspaper editorial from the Chicago Tribune. The death of Rudolph Valentino is a deep personal loss to most of us. We loved him because he was a weaver of dreams, because he brought color and romance into our lives. He embroidered drab moments. He smiled into our eyes. And for a little while, we too became storybook people. And everyday worries with things that were very far away.
Part 2, Walking Tall.
Starring Bo Svensson, will continue in a moment.
Tuesday, a private eye enters the case and Benson strikes back on soap.
Ever wonder how some people make it to the top in earning power? Well, it's a lot easier than it looks. Just look to Great Western Savings. Put $1,000 or more in our 7.75% certificate account, and then stop burning the financial candle at both ends. So don't play games with your money. Put it where it rates at Great Western Savings.
Come shop Payless Dollar Days. You'll find great bargains like 4 cans of Green Giant brand vegetables at just $1. And 500 milligram tablets of tested brand vitamin C are only $1 for each 100-tablet bottle. And don't forget to check our Dollar Days circular in your newspaper for even more savings in every department. These outstanding buys are available now at your nearby Payless store. Stop in today and save.
Starsky and Hutch tomorrow night.
We return now to Part 2, Walking Tall.
Okay, I'm going to take it on faith that we're live and that there is life out there and that I am among that life. Of course, as always, there's a 30-second delay or so. So, yeah, unfortunately I can't zoom in the camera. It has absolutely nothing to do with tonight's movie, but I just needed something to point the camera at. So, yeah, I managed to snag a copy of one of Neil Innes's albums, and yeah, because none of them got released here in the States. One of them found its way over here on Fleabay, and I got it cheap, and yeah, got it on CD already. But anyway, that has absolutely nothing to do with tonight's stream. This is all about kind of a test drive of sorts for the Archiveland late night public domain theater. And I would say normally I might be a little closer to a Joe Bob Briggs sort, but tonight I think I'm going to have to try and channel the spirit of Robert Osborne, because we're going to run a silent tonight in its entirety. And it has to be on February 29th. You know, the movie is called Leap Year. It's from 1921. And you may hear my knees popping. So before we start the movie, I'm going to just chat a bit about the film's star and the history of the movie, see if we can't make this a bit of a semi-educational thing. And so the star of this movie was one Roscoe Arbuckle, also known as Fatty Arbuckle. And if he's remembered much at all today, unfortunately it's for a scandal. And indeed, this would have been his new movie at the time of his big scandal. But for the uninitiated, Arbuckle had been a vaudeville comedian. Then he found his way to Mack Sennett's his studios, Keystone Studios, and worked his way up from there. And in his prime, as it were, making short films for Keystone, his brand of humor was pretty crude, as was typical at the time. But he had been given the opportunity to start doing features and move out on his own. He had gone over to Paramount, which was still a pretty new company at the time. And Paramount would, basically just give him creative freedom. And knowing that he had to work on a bigger canvas now than a short, he started to try and evolve a little. So tonight's movie is kind of what would have been the midway point, him still trying to find his way out of the crude knockabout humor and into something somewhat more sophisticated. Now, this movie was in the pipeline. It was finished but not yet released at the time of his big scandal. So on Labor Day of 1921, Arbuckle threw a party in San Francisco. And of course, this was during Prohibition. And, well, there was booze at the party. And of course, with Prohibition, I think most people were still getting the odd drink here and there. But anyway, one of the people attending the party was an aspiring and really kind of failing actress by the name of Virginia Rapet. And she had all sorts of health problems already. And depending on who you believe, she may have been into prostitution. I don't know if I entirely believe that. But she became very ill at this party, and Arbuckle rushed her off. This was in a hotel, to a room, and tried to get her in the bathtub and get some ice to try and ease the burning and such that she was feeling. But she wound up dying. And the real cause of death was peritonitis, if I'm not mistaken. And the madam that she had managed to get herself associated with decided to try and run with it and say that Arbuckle had his way with her, specifically involving the mouth end of a Coke bottle, a Coca-Cola bottle. And, of course, this was not true, and ultimately Arbuckle was fully exonerated with a full apology from the jury. But the media went down on him so hard that it just crushed his career anyway. And tonight's movie, getting back to that, Leap Year, wound up not getting released. It turned up in Finland, I believe, in 1924. And finally, in 1981, I believe it got 3 showings in America, if I'm not mistaken. One in New York, one in LA, one in Chicago. And that was kind of it. So fast forward to the 90s, among some other public domain video distributors, Grapevine Video put it out on VHS. Now, Grapevine is one of those companies that, even though it wasn't, they deal in public domain stuff, but not so much culty, but just more silent films and early talkies. And they do have the commonality with places like, say, Sinister Cinema, where there's always talk of, okay, this is the end. We're going out of business. I'm going to retire here. But they just keep going on and on. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on now. I checked earlier today, and Grapevine still seems to be up. And so get it while you can. I kind of like how I said in the Cult VHS episode about Sinister Cinema. But anyway, I'm going to finally get the movie started here. It is just a needle drop soundtrack on this, and I'm sure I'm going to get nailed by YouTube for it. And this is also home to, before the movie, one of my all-time favorite movie logos, studio logos more accurately. And this actually appeared on the Cheesy Logos episode. So if you remember that episode, you may recognize the original mid-90s Grapevine Video logo. But that's more or less it. As for getting back to Arbuckle and Leap Year, Arbuckle died in 1933, and he was trying to make a comeback for Vitaphone at the time of his death, but it just was not meant to be. Now, again, the copy of Leap Year that I'm showing, I believe, is the first home video release that it saw. However, it's been restored, I think, twice over by now, but to the best of my knowledge, the best one out there is on a set called The Forgotten Films of Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle, which was actually put out by my friend Paul Garucki, and who is also working on what will hopefully be the definitive biography of Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle. And indeed, he, in the last few years, has unearthed tapes from his widow, interviews that were conducted shortly before her death in the 70s. And so, yeah, I await that. But anyway, having said that, I don't think there's any Jelly Roll Morton in here, if that's what you're after, if you remember that particular archive episode. And really, in a way, I should have waited till Silent Movie Day for this, but it's Leap Day, February 29th. Yeah, so the next chance I'd really have for this, and for it to be really appropriate, would be 4 years from now. And I should note before I start, I forgot to mention this on Facebook this morning, that today marks the second birthday of the Archives Patreon page. I started that sucker on February 29th, 2016, so I like to be good and technical about it. And, it's only its second birthday today. But anyway, I've been yakking for a good long while now. I think we're probably ready for the movie here. So if you give me about 30 seconds to a minute, the movie should get started. And if I feel the need to, maybe I'll turn the mic on during the movie and talk a little if something comes to mind. Otherwise, we'll watch the movie, which is 1 hour, by the way, and I'll come back and I'll close things up. So yeah, let's get to it. Leap Year from 1921. Okay, just checking in briefly, I forgot to mention what this movie is about. Arbuckle plays a man who falls in love very easily, and he manages to get himself into a bit of a tangle. And it starts pretty slowly, but it gets better as it rolls along. So a pretty basic conceit for its time, but I think a perfectly worthwhile movie. And like I said, kind of what would have been a transition film towards more sophisticated humor for Arbuckle. So I'm going to check back out here. And please note that the framing is poor on this tape, so this is not getting cut off on my end. Everything is zoomed out to its proper level, so if some title cards get cut off, yeah, unfortunately it's just the way the tape is. While there might have been a slight flaw to the plan that Paramount had for Arbuckle, and if I know my film history well enough, it was to be a new feature film every other month. I don't think that would have been sustainable, and I think you can see kind of the cracks showing in that already. But yeah, I figured it would be the right time to run that one. Leap year on a leap year and leap day. So yeah, I'm going to call that I think a mostly successful little experiment there. I think some sort of hiccup happened with my internet connection or with YouTube or something that caused things to freeze for a few seconds, but I think everything held up as far as the device I was using goes. And just to hammer my point home here, we really did run a VHS tape directly from the tape over the internet. So with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. You may have noticed I didn't really promote this one. Usually when I do a live stream, I try and start building it up a few days or so ahead of time. And yeah, I just wanted to just try this out. So yeah, not something I was expecting much in the way of numbers for. But yeah, that's an idea, I suppose, to do explicitly public domain theater stuff. But having said that, for copyright reasons, it would almost always be old VHS stuff or bad DVDs, because you can copyright a restoration of a silent film, of a public domain film, any public domain film. So that's always the trick, and I don't want to step on any toes. So that's and it fits with the kind of my whole thing, doesn't it? You know, like KLAK, my little so-called TV station. That's what you would kind of expect out of KLAK. I would call that movie Leap Year there a adequate movie at best. But yeah, as I mentioned, I think the scandal or not, I think the release schedule would have been a real problem. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here, and we'll see in another month or two, see if I do another one of these movies. Maybe try and pick something a little better. And of course, we're also contending with YouTube. There's plenty of public domain stuff that's in YouTube's system, and I'm sure I'm going to get nailed over the soundtrack, but hopefully not banned. So anyway, yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to check out for the night. Next week, Local Commercials Volume 4.